So guys, my people, welcome back again to this channel. Thank you so much, for being with me in this live section again. So let's actually, go into what we have for today. So please, even though you're doing anything at the moment, I want you to just leave it aside. I'll come and listen to this wonderful thing I have to tell you guys. And this is things that we need to, note down, and things we need to do on October 2025, because we can't fold our arms and watch the same people still detain Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Like, a whole lot is already going on now. A whole lot. You guys are aware that his wife, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife, have been hospitalized. I will show you guys an image of it. This is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife in the hospital. She has been hospitalized, and all these things are as a result of emotional, stress that she's going into. Because of the way they have been detaining her husband, they have not released her husband. Even people have been saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not come and seen his family for a very long time. So just imagine, his wife has been hospitalized. His wife has been hospitalized, and if care is not taken, on October 2025, if they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a whole lot is going to be going on. Yes, there's going to, I keep telling people, let's just leave them to do what they want to do to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's leave them. You see, anything, if they don't release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on October 10, 2025, a protest is going to emerge in Nigeria. Honestly, just imagine. Look at the way this woman is now hospitalized. The wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now hospitalized due to emotional. She has been thinking of how her husband is going to be released. She went to the UK government and reported and said that, why are you guys not interfering in your own citizens matter? Why are you guys just keeping quiet? My husband have been in detention since 2021 to date, and you guys are not saying anything about it. Why are you afraid of confronting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, woman that you see that is hospitalized today? She went and confronted the UK government, saying, why is it that you guys are not putting mouth or involving in my husband's detention? It's so sad that this kind of thing is happening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife. So guys, let us go now. I'll be telling you guys the possible thing and what you are going to do. What we are going to do on October 10, 2025 if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. So guys, I'll be telling you guys what we are going to do. Now, October 10, 2025, mark it, circle it, put it in your phone, because that is the day the Federal High Court will give its ruling on the no case submission filed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. And let me tell you from the start, this is not another adjournment. No, we're not going to agree again. This is not another delay. This is the day the case must end. One way or another, the chapter closes on October 10th. It's too much. It's too much. It's so sad that we are seeing his wife being hospitalized. And I know that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wherever he is in DSS in Dungeon, receive this news that his wife has been hospitalized, he's going to give him a lot of, maybe give him even high BP. He's going to even give him high BP. So let's go on, because it's so sad seeing your loved ones, being hospitalized. Just imagine the way this woman is lying in the hospital because of what the Nigerian government and the UK government are doing to her. The UK government is not saying anything about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's detention. The Nigerian government are still keeping him in custody. And I'm sure that if this news reached to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he's actually going to, feel so bad. And don't be surprised, his BP may even rise. So like I keep telling you guys, this is not another adjournment, though. This is not another delay. This is the day that the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must come to an end. October 10, 2025. Go and mark it somewhere. Go and mark it somewhere, guys. That is the day all this nonsense is coming to an end, and he will be released. One way or another, the chapter closes on October 10th. Just mark it somewhere that I said it. The only acceptable outcome is discharge and acquittal. That's the only acceptable outcome we are accepting. The only acceptable outcome we are accepting is what discharge and acquittal. Nothing else. We have gone beyond we've gone beyond the stage of saying the arm of justice is long or the arm of justice is short. Justice is not about the length of an arm. Justice is about doing what is right and doing it now. They have said it for years. Kanu did this, Kanu did that. He attacked soldiers, he attacked police. But up to today, I have not seen one policeman walk into that courtroom with evidence. Not one soldier has taken the stand to testify against him. Whoever you bring during NSAS, outside NSAS, in Obibi, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Anambra State, I am yet to see one person, whether local or international, stand before the court and say, this is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. This is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did. Even the so-called masked witness hiding his face could not name one thing. Imagine that. His identity was hidden. His voice was protected. Yes, still, he couldn't bring himself to say anything with proof. Nothing. Nothing, just zero. That only tells you everything you need to know. There's no case. There's no case against against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There's no case for him. Now, this is what I'm telling you guys. What if the court says otherwise? Now, I know some of you are asking, but what if Justice James Omotoshe decides otherwise? What if the court says, come and defend the case? Let me tell you now. On October 10th, this case must end one way or the other. Either the court ends with the judgment in Kanu's favor, or the lawyers will end it by walking out. Yes, walk out in protest. This is what I've always been saying here in my channel. We have to end this case one way or the other. I know that some of you are saying, oh, what if Justice Omotoshe decides otherwise? What if the court says, come and defend the case? Let me tell you guys something. It's October 10th that, in fact, the Nnamdi Kanu must be released on October 10th. That is when his case has come to an end. Is it that the court is ruling on Kanu's favor, or is ruling in Kanu's favor, or the lawyers will end it by walking away? And when I mean walking away, they need to walk out in protest. If they believe there's a case, let them defend him themselves. If they believe that there's a case, let them defend it by themselves. Let the judge come down and cross-examine himself, because you and I both know there's no evidence. There's no evidence against this innocent man. My counsels and my source, I'm telling you this for free. You have every right under the law to abandon a sham trial. You do not have to stand there and lend credibility to a process built on lies and politics. If they want to do whatever they want to do to can, let them do it openly without your participation. But history must record that you refuse to be part of what the injustice. Now, to Kanu's lawyers, this is your test. If the judgment is in his favor, secure his immediate release on that same day. Not the next day, not next week. That same day, secure what is immediate release. If the judgment is against him, fight it, appeal it, mobilize local and international support, but also be ready to walk away. Make it clear to the world there's no case, no witness, and no evidence. It is clear there's no witness, there's no case, there's no evidence. Even upon the way these people, the witnesses they brought to court were marks. They marked their face, they protected their voice, so they couldn't even present a formal evidence against him. All they were saying were just lies. Because for us, there's no middle ground. It is freedom or nothing. It is what freedom or nothing. The world will be watching on October 10th. The history will record what happens. And when the story is told, it must be said, the people refuse to accept a trial without truth, without witness, without proof. Discharge and acquittal is the only verdict we recognize, and we will accept what? Not. Sorry for the network issue. Now, like I always say, you and I know the truth that delay in justice is denial of justice. These people are just trying to buy time, hoping the people will get tired. But let them hear it today. We are not tired. We will not sleep. We will be in that court on October 10th, physically or in spirit, until this case is buried for good. Let the Nigerian government also remember the world is watching. International human rights organizations are watching. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention is watching. The African Commission on Human and People's Rights is also watching. If on October 10th they chose politics over justice, the stain will not wash away. It will be recorded, published, and shared across the globe. That Nigeria kept a man in detention without proof, without witness, without a single verifiable statement against him. Let me remind you, even the so-called Max witness, the one they hyped so much, came to court and gave nothing. No dates, no direct quote, no physical evidence. These quotes were not even direct. If your key witness cannot give fact, then what exactly is the foundation of your case? This is why I say boldly, there is no case. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of what fact. There's no case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers must understand something. This is not just about winning a case. It is about their names in the history books. Future generations will read about October 10th. They will ask, when the moment came, did the lawyers stand strong or did they bend? This is why I say, if the court refuses justice, walk out. Walk out immediately. Make it clear that you will not decorate injustice with your presence. Now, this is a warning to the court. To the court, they need to understand this. If you claim there is a case, produce your witness, produce your evidence, and let the world see it. But if you cannot, do not hide behind procedure. Do not use legal grammar to cover up the absence of truth. On October 10th, Nigerians will not be listening to big English. You'll be listening for one thing: discharge and what? Acquittal. The people's patience is not endless. The patience of the people is not endless. For over 2 years, we have watched this slow dance in courtrooms. For over 2 years, we have heard adjournment after adjournment. Enough is enough. If you cannot prove your case, free the man. If you will not free the man, then know that you are admitting to the world that is not what justice. It is just persecution. October 10th is not just a day, it's a verdict on what Nigerians saw. We will choose the path of truth and law or the path of what politics and oppression. The answer will echo far beyond that courtroom, and for us, the demand is simple: discharge, acquittal, and what immediate release. Anything less is an insult, to justice itself. Just like I always say that, we see what we just want is what? Discharge and acquittal. Anything else they're talking in that court is not our business. All we need is that they should discharge and acquit him. The whole big league that's speaking there is not our business. We don't care about it. Let's not forget, the appeal court has already given a judgment in this matter. The judgment is clear. The arrest, the retention, the detention, all illegal. So why are we still here? Continue this case is like arguing over a match after the referee has blown the final whistle. It is unnecessary. It is unlawful, and it is embarrassing for the justice system. A no case submission means exactly what it says. There is no case. It's not a trick. It is not a delay tactic. It's a legal declaration that the prosecution has failed to produce what evidence. So if a court refuses a no case submission, the question becomes, on what evidence are you insisting the trial must continue? And to those who say you cannot walk out of court, let me remind you, every lawyer has the right to withdraw from a case when the process is no longer in line with justice. Walking out in protest is not rebellion. It is a lawful stand against a process that has lost its legitimacy. The law is simple. He who alleges must prove. The government has alleged crimes against Nnamdi Kanu. They have brought zero proof. The defense does not need to prove innocence. The innocence is presumed. It is the prosecution duty to prove what guilt. And they have failed time and time again. When you hide a witness face, you are hiding more than their identity. You are hiding the truth. If your evidence is solid, why are you hiding the face? Why not let the public see and hear the witness boldly? Even behind the marks, even behind that marks, the man had nothing substantial to say. That alone should have ended this case, months ago. Make no mistake, this is not just a legal matter, it's a political matter. The treatment of Nnamdi Kanu is not about law, it is about what? Fear of his influence, fear of his message, fear of his ability to mobilize millions. But politics has no place in the courtroom. The scales of justice must be balanced, not tied by political pressure. And to the president, this is not a moment to prove strength by keeping a man in detention without proof. Strength is shown by upholding the law even when it's politically inconvenient. Section 175 of the Nigerian Constitution gives you the power to end this now. Use it and history will remember you for mercy and not for stubbornness. October 10th is the line in the sand. After that day, there will be no excuse, no hiding place. Either the court ends this case or the defense ends it by walking out. The people have waited long enough. Justice delayed has now reached the edge of justice denied. The time is now. The time is now. We cannot just keep folding our hands and watch these people, still, try to, keep him in detention, because enough. Just like recently, his wife came out and was lamenting to the UK government. See, my husband is in serious health conditions, and he has not seen his family. He has not seen his children for a very long time. And if that was not enough, it even reached it didn't even reach a long time before we know it. We just said that Uchechi Kanu, the wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been hospitalized. This is her in the hospital. She has been hospitalized. This is so bad. So let's continue. Now let us remember the extraordinary detention of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya was a violation of international law, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which Nigeria is a signatory to, forbids unlawful arrest, torture, and rendition. When the root of a cause is unlawful, the fruit of that case cannot but be lawful. In 2022, the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention ruled that Nnamdi Kanu's detention was unlawful and ordered his was immediate release. The Nigerian government has ignored that ruling, but ignoring the UN does not erase the truth. It only adds another layer of what illegality. We have seen this before from Ken Sarowiwa to Omoyele Showore. The Nigerian government has a history of dragging cases in court to exhaust both the accused and the public. But in every case, the truth eventually prevails, and those who stood on the wrong side of history are remembered in shame. The prosecution has padded no direct victim, no direct witness, no clear piece of evidence linking Nnamdi Kanu to any crime. If this were a murder trial with no body, no weapon, or no eyewitness, any judge worth their robe would dismiss it in 5 minutes. This endless trial is not just an assault on justice, it is a waste of taxpayers' money. Millions are being spent on a case that is going nowhere. While schools lack funding and hospital lacks medicine, the government persistence in keeping Kanu in detention is not about evidence. It's about fear of the truth he speaks, fear of the movement he inspires, fear of the question his freedom will raise. But fear has never been a valid reason to hold a man against the law. If the lawyers walk out on October 10th, it will not just be a legal move, it will be a political earthquake. It will send a message to the world that Nigerian lawyers are ready to stand for justice, even if it means defying the status quo. The world is watching. The International Criminal Court is watching. The African Union is watching. Every step taken on October 10th will either restore Nigeria's image or further tarnish it before the global community. Beyond law, beyond politics, there is morality. If you have kept a man in custody for years without proving his guilt, the moral thing to do is to release him. A nation that ignores morality in governance cannot expect peace in society. And to the people, your voice matters on October 10th. The court will make a decision, but history will record who spoke out and who remained silent. Justice is not a spectator sport. You must choose a side, the side of truth or the side of what? Oppression. We must actually choose a side. It's either you're choosing a side of truth or you're choosing, a side of oppression. Just like I always say, you see, 10th October 2025, it is going to mark an end to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continues with the Court of Appeal has already ruled in favor of Nnamdi Kanu in 2022, striking out the charges and ordering his release. What is still left to discuss? Continuing the case after the ruling is like trying to restart a football match after the final whistle. The way this case is handled will answer a bigger question: does Nigeria operate under the rule of law or the rule of force? If the law says he should go free, but power says otherwise, then the constitution is just paper. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya without due process. Kenya itself has not defended the action because it knows it violated both its own laws and international treaties. If the foundation of this case is illegal, everything built on it collapses. In criminal law, there must be a victim or a proven harm. Here we have neither. Not one soldier, not even one policeman, not one civilian has come to court to say, this is what he did to me, not even what anonymously. Dragging a dead case clock to the judiciary while this fight sits on the bench for years, other Nigerians with urgent cases are denied timely justice. Justice delayed for one is justice delayed for all. October 10 is a fork in the road. Either the court affirms justice and ends the case, or the defense walks out and declares we will not participate in injustice. But road leads to one truth: this case cannot and should not continue. Counsels, you are not just defending a client, you are defending the very idea of justice. If you stand firm, history will remember your names as those who refuse to legitimize what oppression. The Nigerian people are not blind. They have seen the evidence, the unlawful detention, and the political wars undertones. Every day this case drags on. Public trust in judiciary bleeds away. If we keep quiet now, tomorrow it could be you, your brother, your sister in that dock. Silence today is permission for what? Operation tomorrow. October 10 is not just another date in court. It is the day Nigeria either proves it respects the law or confirms it only what respects power. Let us all remember, power fades, but the truth outlies what every regime. Yes, let us not forget. So, like I always say, it is time for us, to join our voice in order for them to what release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A no case submission is not just lawyers' grammar. It means the prosecution has failed to provide even a shred of evidence worth answering to. Once that point is reached, the case should be buried, not dragged like a corpse from one hearing to another. Across Nigeria, when courts accept a no case submission, the defendant walks free. Why should Nnamdi Kanu's case be treated differently if not for what political interference? This is really sad, guys. And like honestly, it is really sad. So just like I always tell you guys, October 10th, 2025 is a day for his freedom, whether they like it or not. Anyway, guys, I want you, to carefully listen to what the lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continuous detention, as well as what is going to be taking place on October 10th. And I'll be right back, to be taking your questions and answers one by one, because we'll be looking at them one by one. So, guys, please don't forget that we normally use this channel to agitate for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So please do wait to drop in the comment section, free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
So today I'm wearing two hats. I'm speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm also speaking on my own behalf. My name is Aloy Ejimako. I'm the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra. And I'm speaking to you from a location in Nigeria. The man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is well known. He's everywhere. He's on Wikipedia. He's an internationally acclaimed freedom fighter. But there's just a few things I need to tell you about him. What brought him to limelight was the formation of the indigenous people of Biafra in the United Kingdom in 2012. Simultaneously, he also founded Radio Biafra. And these two organizations were aimed at one thing: liberation for the people of Biafra, or restoration of the former Republic of Biafra that went defunct in 1970. The right to self-determination is a right that is guaranteed internationally, domestically, and continentally. It's within the black letters of Nigerian law at Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The right to self-determination is guaranteed. So the formation of IPOB did not break any law. Not laws of United Kingdom, not international law, not Nigerian law. But guess what? When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who was born in Nigeria, but who acquired British citizenship later on, came to Nigeria in October 2015, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, which had come to power in May, decided to arrest him. He was not arrested between 2012 and 2015 because the government of the day at that time understood that self-determination is not a crime. But the government that came into power in 2015 in May decided that self-determination is going to be treated as a criminal activity. So he was arrested in Lagos. He was charged for treason, also for insulting the president and illegal importation of ready equipment. 3 charges. The treason one, they split it into 2, treason by himself and treason by conspiracy. This thing went on from 2015 until April 2017, when he was eventually granted bail. So he was detained for nearly 18 months. After granting him bail, he returned to his ancestral home in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and he was enjoying his bail when suddenly, between 10 September and 14 September 2017, the Nigerian army, without any justification whatsoever, levied lethal, massive military operations against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ancestral home. That day, he was sitting at home with so many people, his family members, including his 2 elderly parents. The attack was lightning, it was a bleakridge, it was massive, and it was not the type of an attack you will expect a national military force to levy on a civilian location. But they did. At the end of the day, 28 people lost their lives. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sustained injuries. His parents sustained injuries as well. But somehow, by the grace of God, they all managed to escape. From there, the rest is history. And because there was a national and international manhunt for him by the security forces, which rules of engagement was to shoot, not to maim. If you see Nnamdi Kanu, if you encounter him anywhere, shoot not to maim. Not to maim, but shoot to kill. That's what they went there to do on 10 September, but they didn't succeed. But it went on. They went on in a manhunt. So Nnamdi Kanu was forced to flee the municipal boundaries of Nigeria in search of safe haven overseas. Eventually, in May 2021, he settled in Kenya. He entered Nairobi and settled in Kenya somewhere. He never knew that Nigerian security forces, the international branch of it, were laying in wait for him. They laid an ambush for him. So on 19th June 2021, he drove himself to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a personal errand. As soon as he drove into the parking lot and alighted from his vehicle, several well-armed security men suspected to be of a mixture of Nigerian and Kenyan security forces swooped on him, grabbed him, abducted him, and put him forcibly in a vehicle and drove away. Well, they didn't take him to the police station. They didn't take him to immigration because he was a foreigner. He should have been taken to immigration. They didn't take him to any official law enforcement facility. They took him to a secret location in Nairobi, a non-official secret location. So in effect, they disappeared him. And they kept him at that secret location for a whole 8 days. And those 8 days he endured horrendous torture. All these are matters of record between the various tribunals and courts before whom this matter has been brought. I cannot begin to give you all the details. Horrendous torture in violation of basic human rights, in violation of the laws of Kenya, Nigeria, and the international community. When Nnamdi Kanu was abducted on 19th June 2021, the proper thing that should have been done is to take him to a police station, from there to a court. And then if you wanted him back in Nigeria, you subject him to what is called extradition proceedings. This is a basic tenet of the law that you see in the laws of any nation. Kenya has an extradition act to which Nnamdi Kanu should have been subjected. But guess what? They didn't do that. They rather disappeared him for 8 days, tortured him to their heart's content. And on 27th June, they secretly brought him out from this location and took him through the back doors, evading Kenyan immigration, direct to the tarmac of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, where a private plane was waiting. They bundled him into the plane, chained him to the chair, and everything. He endured 5-6 hours flight from Nairobi to Kenya in the most excruciating circumstances. They arrived in Nigeria late in the evening and the plane flew back to Nairobi. They took him to the headquarters of the National Intelligence Agency in Abuja, where he spent the first night with all the lights left on to assure his maximum discomfort. The following day, they transferred him to the headquarters of Directorate of State Security in Abuja. And on the third day, they brought him before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Federal High Court was well aware that Nnamdi Kanu has counsel of record. It was an open case, it wasn't a new case, a pre-existing case. But the Federal High Court decided to conduct the arraignment in violation of his constitutional right to counsel, and that arraignment led to the indefinite detention with which we are struggling today. Anyways, taking you back a few steps, the little military invasion of 2017 was not unrequited, judicially speaking. I took the matter before two tribunals, or a tribunal and a court. First, I took it to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which rendered a decision in March 2018 condemning the action and calling it a violation of the African Charter. And they wrote to the President of Nigeria, they wrote a letter to the President of Nigeria requesting him or directing him. They used diplomatic language, but the decision was there that what you did is wrong, so you need to roll it back. You need to reverse everything you have done, which includes declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and hounding their members as criminals. The African Commission held that what Nigerian government was doing was persecution, not prosecution. That the IPOB and its members simply possess an inconvenient political opinion which the Nigerian government was seeking to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. And they asked or directed Nigerian government to reverse itself. Nigerian government never did. Rather, it escalated. Well, subsequently, I went to a local court, a high court in Abia State in eastern Nigeria. I sued the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, and other parties who were confederates in that attack of September 2017. And in January 2022, fortunately for us, we won. The High Court made an order. The High Court reached a judgment that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in September 2017 was a flagrant violation of his constitutional right to life and constitutional right to his privacy. And the court proceeded to make an order ordering the federal government of Nigeria or Federal Republic of Nigeria to pay him a compensation of 1 billion Nigerian naira, which is over $1 million US dollars. The court also ordered the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President of Nigeria to issue a public apology to be published in 3 national Nigerian newspapers to Nnamdi Kanu. None of this has happened. So we kept that aside. So when they brought Nnamdi Kanu forcibly from Kenya without extradition proceedings, I characterized it an act of extraordinary rendition. Initially, there was a misunderstanding, a broad, widespread misunderstanding by vast majorities of Nigerians who were mouthing the cliche, Nnamdi Kanu extradited from Kenya. No, that was wrong. It wasn't. I told people it wasn't. It was extraordinarily renditioned or rendered, and that is against international law, Kenyan law, and laws of the Federation of Nigeria. So while his criminal trial was making its way slowly at Abuja, with all the several amendments the government was bringing, they walked away from treasonable felony, insulting the president, importation of radio equipment, and bam, to terrorism. That's how it happened. And they did this 7 times. 7 amendments. If Nnamdi Kanu was guilty, why is it taking so long to bring him to trial between 2015 and today? That is 8 years. So what he's undergoing is not really a judicial trial. It's a trial by ordeal. Trial by fire. Imprisonment before conviction. They just want to get as many years of jail time out of him as possible, because they know that with the evidence available, conviction will be impossible. And that was made worse by the extraordinary rendition, which I took also as a civil violation to a federal high court in Nigeria. And in October 2022, the Federal High Court came down with a judgment that extraordinary rendition was a violation of his constitutional rights, his fundamental rights, and they awarded him 500 million Nigerian naira. That's about $800,000. So all around, everywhere that this matter has gone to, including in July 2022, before the Human Rights Council at the United Nations, the Human Rights Council, United Nations, came down with an opinion that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and that brought him to Nigeria is a very grave violation of international law. And they directed that he should be released unconditionally. And of course, the Court of Appeal in Nigeria did come down with a similar judgment in same October 2022, discharging Nnamdi Kanu of all charges and bearing any further trial of his person in any court in Nigeria as a consequence, as a direct consequence of the extraordinary rendition. So what more can you ask for a man to deserve his freedom? How many have I counted? United Nations, which in this case should be considered a world court. Then you have the Nigerian Court of Appeal, which is the second highest court in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then you have the Federal High Court, which is the court of first instance at the federal level. And of course, you have the State High Court that awarded him 1 billion Nigerian naira. So between 2015 and today, 8 years and running, Nnamdi Kanu has snagged 4 major victories against the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with Federal Republic of Nigeria winning nothing. What more do you need as stark evidence, affirmative evidence that what is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is an act of persecution, not prosecution? It's time to end it. On his behalf, I will ask all men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world to speak up. There was this saying about Jews. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing because you're a trade unionist. Then when they came for the trade unionist, you say, well, I'm a scientist. You said nothing. They took the Jew, they took the trade unionist, and then when they came for the scientists, nobody spoke for you. Nnamdi Kanu is a poster boy for all the injustices that a great race, the Igbo people, and their cousins in the former eastern Nigeria have been subjected to since the founding of Nigeria. These injustices became more public because since 2015 they have been escalated. So how do you fight back? You fight back by telling the system, I want out. I want my own country is not a crime. It does not require a bullet. It doesn't require muscular military law enforcement. What it requires is sitting across the table and talking about it. A lot of nations have been founded on referendum. That's what Nnamdi Kanu and the Indigenous people of Biafra were asking for. That led to all this conundrum, to all this saga.
When the president calmed down, the reason Nnamdi Kanu have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu, because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the Constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate. But they said the way he was going about it, like and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
what of the one the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one Oba of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something. Then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe. So you are now saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, they wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So, apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
Are you sure Max, are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold all this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that
but the chief of naval staff is from the Southeast? Huh? The chief of naval staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position. We have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular governance is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Ohanele and you are now brought in Bianca Ojukwu, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Check, let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kanu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted, that they said from, I think they said next week, the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal courts? Federal courts, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal over the judicial division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And you are not even thinking about all this. And the judges are not even thinking about, So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Person, somebody like us, we are not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. You don't even know what they're talking about. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. They're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. No, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held,
yes,
that is why, you know, the ills in the society in the southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying?
Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or adopted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, you said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I asked you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB you know is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, you will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue this of that of Nnamdi Kanu, and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, you know, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is, because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, you know, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition given Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I say, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I will be paying you $500,000 every month.
Anyways, taking you back a few steps, the little military invasion of 2017 was not unrequited, judicially speaking. I took the matter before two tribunals, or a tribunal and a court. First, I took it to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which rendered a decision in March 2018 condemning the action and calling it a violation of the African Charter. And they wrote to the President of Nigeria, they wrote a letter to the President of Nigeria requesting him or directing him. They used diplomatic language, but the decision was there that what you did is wrong, so you need to roll it back. You need to reverse everything you have done, which includes declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and hounding their members as criminals. The African Commission held that what Nigerian government was doing was persecution, not prosecution. But the IPOB and its members simply possess an inconvenient political opinion which the Nigerian government was seeking to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. And they asked or directed Nigerian government to reverse itself. Nigerian government never did. Rather, it escalated. Well, subsequently, I went to a local court, a high court in Abia State in eastern Nigeria. I sued the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, and other parties who were confederates in that attack of September 2017. And in January 2022, fortunately for us, we won. The High Court made an order. The High Court reached a judgment that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in September 2017 was a flagrant violation of his constitutional right to life and constitutional right to his privacy. And the court proceeded to make an order ordering the federal government of Nigeria or Federal Republic of Nigeria to pay him a compensation of 1 billion Nigerian naira, which is over 1 million US dollars. The court also ordered the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President of Nigeria to issue a public apology to be published in 3 national Nigerian newspapers to Nnamdi Kanu. None of this has happened. So we kept that aside. So when they brought Nnamdi Kanu forcibly from Kenya without extradition proceedings, I characterized it an act of extraordinary rendition. Initially, there was a misunderstanding, a broad, widespread misunderstanding by vast majorities of Nigerians who were mouthing the cliche, Nnamdi Kanu extradited from Kenya. No, that was wrong. He wasn't. I told people he wasn't. He was extraordinarily renditioned or rendered, and that is against international law, Kenyan law, and laws of the Federation of Nigeria. So while his criminal trial was making its way slowly at Abuja, with all the several amendments the government was bringing, they walked away from treasonable felony, insulting the president, importation of radio equipment, and bam, to terrorism. That's how it happened. And they did this 7 times. 7 amendments. If Nnamdi Kanu was guilty, why is it taking so long to bring him to trial between 2015 and today? That is 8 years. So what he's undergoing is not really a judicial trial. It's a trial by ordeal. Trial by fire. Imprisonment before conviction. They just want to get as many years of jail time out of him as possible, because they know that with the evidence available, conviction will be impossible. And that was made worse by the extraordinary rendition, which I took also as a civil violation to a federal high court in Nigeria. And in October 2022, the Federal High Court came down with a judgment that extraordinary rendition was a violation of his constitutional rights, his fundamental rights, and they awarded him 500 million Nigerian naira. That's about $800,000. So all around, everywhere that this matter has gone to, including in July 2022, before the Human Rights Council at the United Nations. The Human Rights Council.
So guys, you guys have listened to what the lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu said, Aloye Jimako. You guys heard everything he said there. Now, this is it. Like I just keep telling you guys, 10th October, the 10th of October, Nnamdi Kanu must be freed. Whether they like it or not, they must release Nnamdi Kanu. This is, if the judiciary allows a baseless case to continue, it opens the door for future governments, to use the same tactic on anyone they dislike. That is how democracy, quietly dies. We are not coming to court on October 10th to beg or bargain. We are coming to end this chapter. Either the court ends it or the defense ends it. Justice delayed has already been justice denied for too long. And it's now a pity. Millions of people across the south and beyond are demanding his release. This is not just a legal fight, it was a democratic demand. Ignoring it or ignoring the voice of the people. We're in 2025, in the age of CCTV, smartphones, and surveillance drones. If there was real evidence against Nnamdi Kanu, it would have been produced a long time ago. It would have produced the fact that nothing exists speaks louder than any courtroom speech. Now, the keeping someone in detention for years without a fair trial is not just illegal. It is psychological torture. That itself is a violation of human rights law, and punishable under both local and international law. So guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below, and also if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, like and share, and turn on the notification button to be getting all the latest news in this channel. Also, don't forget that he will be coming to court on October 10th, 2025, and trust me, I'll be giving you guys every latest update on that day about Nnamdi Kanu. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next live section.